kind of book. Welcome to another episode of The Supper Club. The Supper Club brought to you by Kuna Food Service, a family-owned tradition since 1918. The Pasta House Company Restaurants. Lordo's Diamonds, your family jeweler for life. Oliva on the Hill. Barquette Realty, nationwide real estate investor. And Fresta Limoncello. Keep sipping, my friends. Welcome to the Supper Club. I'm Joe Fresta. I'll be your host, sponsored by Kuna Food Service. Today, we're with a very special guest, a champion of women, Jennifer Bardot. She is the author of 7 international best-selling books. Jennifer, welcome to the show. Welcome to Supper Club.
I'm super excited to be here today.
Good.
You're a phenomenal leader in our community. So
So are you. I mean, you're really leading the way in a lot of different departments, and
thank you.
We're going to get into that a little bit. You went to Missouri State University, correct?
I did, yeah.
And we'll just start at the beginning. Did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up? Before you went to college?
Never. Nah. I had all entrepreneurs in my business or my family, and I knew I wanted to own a business. But no, I'm a first generation college student. Everybody owns businesses. They don't go to college.
So many people go to college to figure it out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's gotten to be so expensive, and unless you really know what you want to do. And a lot of 18-year-olds really don't, 19-year-olds, and they're just there kind of swimming around to try to figure it out. Unless you know you're going to be a lawyer, a doctor, CPA, someone in that specialized field. I mean,
absolutely,
it's not really a place to be throwing money around.
No.
Just to try to figure it out. But,
no, and I was lucky. My parents paid for my undergrad, so I was really conscientious of how that money was being spent. So I didn't want to waste it. Then you went to work for Enterprise Bank and Trust. Yep,
out of college.
Well, there was a couple of different bumps along that way, but actually, after I graduated from MSU, I had 2 masters. I actually became a college recruiter.
Oh, really?
So I worked for Ottawa University out of Ottawa, Kansas. I was the only recruiter here in St. Louis.
Okay.
So again, I was using my sales skills and trying to help people, figure out what life could look like rather than what their family had done in the past, because that's what I did. I went to college where my other family members had started businesses, and then I ended up going back and working for my family business because I started having a family and I needed that flexibility.
Was masonry?
Actually, so I worked for Masonry, which was my dad's tuck pointing company.
Wow.
In my undergraduate.
Okay.
But I actually went and worked for my mom and my uncle. They owned a commercial and residential appraisal company. So I was helping run the Missouri office as my mom was doing Illinois, and then my uncle was out in Oregon. So I did that for quite a while and got an appraisal license for the state of Illinois. And then from there, I actually went into Eden Theological Seminary and I ran their financial aid department. So kind of an interesting dynamic. And then I went and ended up at Enterprise Bank. So.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So you took a few turns before you got into the banking.
Yeah. So you talk about figure it out. It's you just got to get out there and see what makes you tick. What do you really enjoy?
Yeah, you're numbers oriented. You really know numbers, which that is not a strong suit of mine. So kudos to you. I mean, I'm more of a marketing idea guy, but numbers was never my thing. But so then you, what inspired you to be an author?
Yeah, so during COVID, actually, so I had 3 little ones at home, and one was still in diapers. He was 3. My middle was 6, learning how to read on a computer screen in kindergarten.
Right.
And then my oldest was literally finishing all his homework by 6 in the morning, and he's super bright. Yeah. And I was helping all these business owners secure their PPP loans, and I was working 60 hours a week to really make sure these businesses in our community were going to be surviving. Right. And I just realized there were so many people struggling with hardships. It's what could I do in my tiny wheelhouse to create hope? So that's where the idea came. I was actually at the Lake of the Ozarks on my elliptical working out, and I'm like, this is really a difficult time. There's so much uncertainty, so much loss of life, income, family members are dying. So what can we do? And I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be awesome to bring together women who were leaders in our community, these icons, help them share their journeys and humanize hardships to kind of unveil and show that life is not roses and everybody's struggling, to give people hope that didn't have the strength to talk about what was actually going on during that time.
And sort of be a sort of a mentorship for women just to pick up a book and read it.
Absolutely.
And get some ideas from all different kinds of women.
Yeah.
You went down to the lake. Why? To kind of escape
the
the rules and regulations of COVID?
You got me pegged. Yeah, because there was way less restrictions at the lake. And I had 3 boys, right? So
real estate went through the roof down there at that time. Everybody was looking for a place at the lake.
And you can get on the boat. You can go kayaking, swimming, paddleboarding, take your golf cart out, do whatever.
A lot of freedoms.
A lot of freedom.
Yeah, and restaurants were still open.
Restaurants were still open, and people weren't wearing masks, and there was a big, it was a huge scene at the lake for that.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I have 3 little kids, and the idea of having them lose so much of their life. I mean, during Halloween, I preset little candy bags at each of our neighbors' mailboxes, even though they weren't there, so we could still experience trick-or-treating. Like I was like, we gotta have some sense of reality.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But it was a difficult time for everybody.
It really was. I mean, it was just a strange, surreal time.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know what was coming next.
No.
What you could and couldn't do. I mean, it was pretty much we're just kind of like hanging out at home and not doing a whole lot. You know.
And just for my sanity, I needed to be out and be able to be doing activities with my kids.
Oh yeah, and for children too, especially.
Right.
Because it's really kind of forced kids to be, set them back a little bit.
Yeah, it was isolating.
Yeah.
And the parks were closed here in St. Louis, and there was just not a lot to do.
Yeah,
so,
even the parks.
Yeah,
right.
which was devastating. Yeah.
Right. So you wrote a anthology, a series of books based on grit.
Yeah.
Get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
The 4 letters of the anthology. Talk a little bit about that.
So the first publication was called Owning Your Grit, and that was more of like the action-oriented behind grit. And grit stands for growth, resilience, intention, tenacity, which I ended up trademarking. And then the whole concept of that is just really teaching people grit. So in each of the anthologies following, I did a deconstructing grit collection. So the first one was growth, and I broke it down to 3 different pillars in regards to what I think people need to have more of a growth mindset, where it's like goal setting, and then really making it come to life with the intentional piece, and then being resilient because you're always going to have setbacks, and you're always going to have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And then for tenacity, it's just being fearless and being so bold and driven on your personal path that there is nothing that's going to make you unstoppable.
Everything starts with an idea.
Yeah.
But so many people have ideas, but they're so afraid of failure or that it won't work or what have you. I mean, how many times, I, myself included, where you see an idea come to fruition, you're like, why didn't I think of that, right? How many times have you said that just sitting around with your friends and go, why didn't we think of that, right?
Totally.
So,
or you have the idea and you don't act on it, and
or
then
you
someone
don't
else
act,
comes
and somebody
with
else
it.
does. I thought
Yeah.
about that 10 years ago or whatever. I didn't act on it. Maybe so that book, initial book, gives people maybe the confidence through the stories. Were you doing the story? Were the women doing the stories in that book at that point?
No, which is
Not
really
yet.
interesting. So that was the first anthology published that
was
had
the first book.
40 women in it. And it was the only anthology that was, it had hit international bestselling in over 8 countries.
Wow.
So still I have that, woohoo, #1. So that's cool. But no, I
you
did.
should.
I started that wave of, helping other women lead these anthologies and highlighting women's voices. And it's just kind of been a trickling ripple effect, if you've noticed here locally.
How many of that initial book did you sell?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. All I know is it was
When you
my
stopped
publishing
counting what?
consultant. She had done this work for 15 years, and she was completely blown away when we picked up 8 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's like the best that you can get. #1 bestseller in all 8 countries.
And what was your first distribution? Was it Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon Kindle, and then literally I'm Googling it to send a link to my parents, and I found out Target had picked it up because it was on Ingram Sparks. So it was like Target, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. It was just really cool. And then to see the women that had been contributors in this book, see how empowered they were to say, hey, my book's in Target,
Yeah, right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they see that in itself as a success and go, hey, look, maybe I can do something, right?
Yeah.
Just, again, it's just an idea. You just got to bring it to fruition and go. And
Exactly.
So after that book, you wrote a second book.
I did, yep.
And
so that was growth.
That was growth.
Yep, and then I
Okay.
did resilience. And I've published 7 books in a 4.5-year time period. So I was rolling them out every 6 months because I really thought at that time we needed to teach grit. That's how important it was to
Wait a
me.
minute, how many books and how many years?
Yeah, I have 7 books that I've published in 4.5 years. So
How did you how did you do that? You didn't just put pen to paper and just start.
No,
Did you have someone sort of plug and play with you? I mean, I know a lot of people talk about ghostwriters.
No ghostwriters.
No
This is all
ghostwriters.
legit.
This was all you.
Yeah.
Or someone who writes book.
Right.
Like you see Bill O'Reilly who
Yeah.
churns out these books like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no way he's writing these books.
Right.
Because
No,
they're just,
damn. If you remember back in my very beginning of my job, I'm a recruiter, right? I
Right.
love finding people that I
Right.
know have a story and they are going to go through this transformational
So they write the
process.
stories.
Yeah, 1,500
and you
words. And I
compile
compile
them
So I'm recruiting them.
and
I'm
put 'em
vetting them
out.
out to see if their stories are what I'm looking for in regards to the content that is going to create hope through hardship.
Right.
And bringing them along that journey. So I have a whole team that supports me. I have a publishing consultant here that's in St. Louis. I have a PR team out in California that helps me, and I have a writing coach that helps the individual authors. And I kind of just gather the group, and I make sure that everybody's
Yeah.
feeling like they're understanding what this mission is about and how do they
Right.
convey their story.
Right. It does take a team.
Totally.
You
yes.
can't do it by
Oh, no,
yourself.
There's no way I could.
No way. Even though you're on the
I'd
cover
be
of the
burnt
book, whatever.
out. Yeah.
It takes a team, and you
100%.
and you got to bring them together. Everybody has a role.
Yeah.
In any organization, whether it's writing a book, running a business, running a restaurant, a construction company, a masonry business,
Yeah.
whatever. Everybody's got to come together and make it all work. So.
And you'll learn, that's
you
one of my
learn.
hiccups, because sometimes you trust people and you think you have the right team, and then you'll realize sometimes, there's lessons to be learned still. So,
Yeah. And not only the successes, they talk about their failures too. Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
on
that
these
really
journeys.
that gives people again
yeah.
that word hope. That hey, you do stumble along the way.
Yes.
It is going to happen.
Yeah.
But as long as you learn from it and you don't make that same mistake twice,
Yep.
that's how you grow. That's how your business grows. It's how you grow as a person, right? So that was pretty much the second book.
Yeah, that's my
Right.
mindset. Like, you think about Einstein, he's like, if you expect a different result, but you're doing the same habits
Over and over again.
Exactly. It's like pure stupidity, right? So it's
Yeah.
you got to have that growth mindset. But it's difficult to be vulnerable and share your
Yeah.
hard stories.
Yeah.
But it's really cool when you can share those hard stories, because it gives another person a different perspective or a different outlet of how they can move forward.
Right.
And they're no longer stuck, and they have that hope. So growth was really, the 3 pillars were really about like understanding what's your light bulb moment, what really was your why or gets you to tick,
Right,
and then
right.
creating an action plan to really make sure, how do you bring that to life? It's more
Right,
like goal
right.
setting and just, never setting your own personal limits, really getting a growth mindset. And then once you hit your goal, it's like liberation. You got to celebrate that, but you're not done. You got to constantly be evolving and figure out what's next,
What's next?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So-
You're right. And then the third book was
Yep, so that was Resilience.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
Resilience. What's the
Which-
fourth book?
So the fourth one would have been Tenacity.
Tenacity.
Yeah, and that one so I always quote different people, and that one I quoted Mario Andretti, because there was a quote that he said, if you're not going fast enough in life, everything, you shouldn't be able to see anything beside you. Everything should be a blur because you're not going fast enough in life.
Right.
Because if you're utterly focused on what your mission is,
Right.
all the side noise no longer bothers you.
No peripheral vision.
Yeah,
No
just go.
Yeah, just go straight ahead.
Just go.
for it.
Right.
Yeah,
So
100
then-
miles an hour.
Yes, and that's
I
what
feel
it's
that way
about.
sometimes, don't
Yeah,
you?
absolutely.
With everything we got going on.
Well,
and-
you just got to commit and
yeah,
just go with
and just
it.
do it.
Yes, and there's gonna be
And
failures
sometimes the more
setbacks.
pressure, the better.
Totally.
I mean, I find myself that way, that I thrive
Mm-hmm.
and succeed a little more under pressure than when I'm not.
Or when you have
Seems kinda
naysayers saying
weird.
that you can't.
Oh, that's the biggest
That's
motivator
motivation.
of all.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? You
Right.
can't do
You
that.
can't do
know,
that.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Watch me.
Okay. Here we go. Gloves are off.
Exactly.
You watch
Yeah.
me do it.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's-
energizing.
Yeah. So that was the fourth.
So that's the fourth one, and then I guess the next one would have been Living Well with Grit. So that was more the action behind the aspect of grit. So that
Yeah.
was like choosing to find your joy, choosing to evolve, and just being present. Mm-hmm. So
and enjoying the fruits of your
Yeah,
labor,
exactly.
your successes. That also is motivating to want to maybe take up another mantle and do
Yeah.
that, because you never know where things lead.
No.
Right? That's what I
Never.
found, is that one thing leads to another, parlays into something else.
Yeah.
You find that
100%.
to be-
I mean, look at us right here.
You just don't,
So,
right?
exactly.
You just don't know where it's gonna go.
No.
You know.
And I think
So,
if you're deeply rooted, like in your why, which is
Yeah.
bringing you joy, then the right people will be attracted to you,
Yeah.
and the right journey is going to be created on
Right.
that next path.
And I'm sure the women that you've brought together, you guys have you put together one heck of a network.
Yeah.
And you guys are probably pretty close knit.
It's really cool. It's like a tribe. They call it a sisterhood. And yeah, because of the books, I ended up starting in a women's association, so it's called G.R.I.T Community. So it's another avenue to provide
There
support.
you go. There's that opening of another door.
And then that layered into my G.R.I.T Expo, which is a free community event that I host every year. I've done that for the past 3 years. And that's another way to highlight our small businesses and just give women another opportunity to connect and build relationships. So.
Now, are the women in the book, are they mostly from St. Louis or Missouri, or are they from all over the country?
They're from everywhere, but I would say the bulk, probably 90%, are here from St. Louis. And they have different ethnicities, different ages, different titles. But
which is great.
Yeah, because it gives you so much more
all these different backgrounds.
Innovative thought.
The way they grew up is different than the way you grew up, or I grew up,
Yep.
or another successful woman had grown up.
Yep.
Just that's what makes us who we are. We're all products of our environment,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So,
there's so many lessons that we wouldn't have learned if we didn't hear it from someone else.
And then now these women, you've brought all these women together. Now they're all learning from each other.
100%. Yep.
Even though they're very successful in their own
Yes.
right, now they have this network that they can call upon each other. Like, hey, pick each other's brain on how they would handle this deal or that or this situation.
Well, it's cool
It's
because
pretty
there's an IT company right down the street from here, and they utilized one of my women that are in my group because they're both G.R.I.T women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for her party rentals. And I was just like,
Oh,
that
okay.
is such a cool connection. And that's the kind of stuff that I want to see because it's supporting each other
Yeah,
local
yeah,
and giving you courage and confidence, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, so do you guys, or do you've probably done a lot of speaker series? You're probably going out talking to different...
Yeah. I've done a lot of keynotes.
Groups?
And probably the coolest one that I ever did is just because my dad was into NASCAR, you know?
Okay.
So I spoke for MAPA, which is in the asphalt industry, and I spoke right after Kenny Schroeder, which is like this famous like NASCAR
sure.
drive.
I've heard of him.
It was really
Yeah.
cool. And then earlier this year, I got to speak for the National Women of Asphalt because they have a
The
women
National Women of
of
Asphalt.
Yeah, they have an asphalt organization specifically for women.
What do they do? Are these...
Women
are
of
they paver-
Asphalt nationally.
Wait,
all over.
Are there MBEs or
No,
WBE
they
own
either
asphalt
own
companies?
asphalt companies or petroleum companies, or
Wow.
they work for that industry. And one of my friends was one of the authors in Growth, and she worked for an asphalt company here locally. She nominated me because she was on the board for Women of Asphalt, and all of a sudden I got an opportunity to be the keynote for Women of.
So that's what allowed you to
Yeah.
dive into that
It's so
arena.
cool. Yeah, and then
Who would have ever thought
Yeah,
asphalt?
for women too.
You know,
like that's
right?
really cool. It was, and obviously coming back from a family of masonry, I was like, well,
That's
that's
right.
kind of concrete. Are you
Yeah,
sure
right.
you still want
Yeah,
me?
yeah. Am I
Okay.
excommunicated from the family?
Exactly. I don't know. And it was funny because I got to highlight the other women that were in the construction industry that have been a part of my anthology. So it's cool. So, and this summer I'm going down to Lake the Ozarks to speak at, I think it's the Four Seasons, but it's the 60th anniversary for women in banking.
Oh,
So,
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Now, your mother is a successful business person in her own right.
Yeah.
Is she in any of your books?
She's not. She. I don't know. She won't be vulnerable. You
She
know what's
doesn't wanna be in the
funny
book?
Is I don't have one family member that has been in any of my books.
Well, you
Not
need,
even my
that's
aunts
another
that are
book.
running the masonry business.
That's another book.
I know.
There
They
you go.
have
We just came
attended-
up with another book.
But I did get her to come to one of my expos, and she's like, "Oh, now I can die happy because I can see what you've created." But she always, like my mom wasn't one that would just give out accolades. You got to earn that, you know.
yeah.
So
Yep, I
maybe
hear
one
that.
day. But I did design a piece of jewelry that was based on my mom married.
Oh, after
so,
her?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Did she design it?
Nope, I picked it
You
for her, and I
designed you
named
did.
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, whatever. That's good.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want any, she doesn't, because that
She
could
didn't
be a
want to
good.
be vulnerable, and I thought that would be cool.
Because you probably,
Yeah.
even since you were a little girl, you probably
yeah.
learned so much from her.
So much. I had strong women
you
in
could
my
write
life.
an
Yeah.
entire book on that. Mm-hmm. You know?
Oh, 100%.
The mother-daughter relationship.
And my grandma. Like, she was strong, and my mom was strong, and she's a top F&I producer in the car industry. So talking about a woman in finance.
Wow.
And she's like 4'11".
Oh, my goodness.
She's fierce.
She packs a
She does.
punch.
Yeah, she does.
Wow.
But
Let's
she's
not-
softened up as she's gotten
Let's not
older.
leave your dad out.
Oh, I love my father.
You could probably do a book with him, too.
My dad taught me to be dynamic, and I think that's
Uh-huh.
why I've always had that perspective of looking at life in a different lens and just,
Yeah.
you know, accepting all.
What would
so.
he tell you? Like, what are some things?
My dad was the kind of person.
How would he point you in different
Yeah, he'd
directions?
pick up a homeless man on the side of the street to take him to work, or
Oh,
you know,
really?
like
Get him
he
a
would
job?
He would give the shirt off his back.
Right.
Yeah, he's a good, loyal man.
Yeah.
he taught me to, your name is behind everything.
He loved people.
He loved people, and he's
Right.
an incredible networker.
Sure.
And he's obviously still alive, and he says, anywhere we go, he always knows like 2 or 3 people. We go to the Blues game, and he's like, boom, boom, boom.
You're right.
Go to the Cards game. I'm like, okay, everybody knows my dad.
Is he a hockey fan? He's a
Yeah,
big
he loves
fan?
hockey fans. Yeah, he had hockey
Me
seats so
too.
long, his name were on the seats.
Yeah, my dad
yeah.
too.
Yes. Yeah.
He's the one who got me introduced to hockey. Back in the day at the old arena and everything. And
they were
fell
one
in
of
love
the,
with it.
They were one of the Masons that did the Keel, and
Oh, really?
they did the Cardinal Stadium. They did the MLS Stadium. So he always said, whatever you put your name on, you stand behind, because
Right.
that's your logo.
That's right.
So he's very much driven on integrity. And
That's your logo. That's
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and your word too.
100%. Yeah. So he doesn't do a lot of marketing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all word of mouth, because if you've worked with their business, you know the type of work. They have
He
the
lets
reputation.
his work do the talking.
Do the talking, yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
So he's like, be dynamic and, always have integrity. And
Right.
no matter how people treat you, just always make sure that, you would treat them the way you would want to be treated. So... But I learned a lot from all my family, and even my great uncle. I call him the godfather of grit, because he gave me the first opportunity to actually work for his business. And, I started at the desk. I didn't get the nice cush job just because I was family. I had to work my way up. So,
What was, besides COVID, what was the jumping off point for you to get into this,
yeah, full time.
being an author?
Yeah.
Besides COVID.
Yeah. So, I was going through a really difficult
Did you always
time.
feel like women should be more championed?
Not really,
No?
because I always came from a foundation of having a
You were-
strong mother and a strong grandma,
Right.
and like women had
But
voices.
not everybody has that.
And that's what I realized.
And of course, I'm
Yeah.
sure you had girlfriends and
Yeah.
other people you went
Yeah.
to school, women you
Yeah.
went to school with,
Yeah.
that maybe just they didn't have that
Yeah.
dynamic. It was probably a lot more male centered or whatever, and you probably saw where
Yeah.
your life was a little bit different than theirs, and maybe you saw, well, I
And I'm-
could help. There's
And
a
I'm
lot of
definitely
women out
not
here
a
I can help.
feminist. Yeah, I'm definitely not a feminist.
But
So
you
it's
could
very
help.
much that like fine line where it's like women should be able to have a voice, and we should have
absolutely.
male champions, and we should figure out how to do that together.
Right,
and
right,
it's
right.
like when you see women kind of lose their power or lose their spark, it's like, no, you have so much to share. Let's figure out how to share what you've gone through
Right.
to get reignited and get more excited about what
Yeah.
are your special, unique gifts.
Yeah.
But I mean, my grandma was loud, and she was
Oh, was she?
very vivacious and just
Sounds like she was Italian.
yeah, I know. She did. She did. Yeah. There's a lot of that. But she's an entertainer too. So she was a
Yeah.
networker too, and very active in her church. And, when my grandpa passed away,
She was a networker.
She was. She learned how to survive, and because she
Yeah.
didn't even have a high school education, because
Oh,
she got
really?
married when she was 16. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, young.
Wow. And how
then-
old was your grandfather?
Oh, he's like 42. Yeah.
No, when they got married.
Oh, he was 20 years older.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's a big age gap, and then she started having, my mom at 18, so
Right
she
away.
didn't have a high school education,
Wow.
didn't have a college education, but when he passed, she figured out that she would babysit the kids from the parish next door. So
She grew up fast.
She did grow up fast, and
Really
but she
fast.
she had also lost both of her parents at a very young age, so
Oh, wow.
she had I guess it was her father-in-law was a banker too. So there's
Oh.
always been banking in the thread, kind of funny.
Is that how you got into
I
the
don't
banking
know.
business?
Not
How did
really.
you?
I actually stumbled into banking because when I went to grad school, I was like, well, what job can I have while going to night class? So I worked at Commerce Bank, and I did that. I was started as a teller because I could open up the line at 5 a.m. and then get off at 3, do night class. And then I was recruited to actually work on campus. So I got promoted to an FSA, which was a financial service advisor,
Right.
helping people open up accounts and CDs. And that was
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Wow.
But no, I never thought of myself as a banker.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
But it's all about relationships, is what I
Yeah.
realized.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And anything we do, it's totally about. I mean, I was first in the insurance business, and that's
Yeah.
all about,
Yeah.
relationships, because
Absolutely.
people really don't. They don't particularly like to buy something they can't see or touch.
Yes.
And have to write a check every month for
Yep,
it.
the
So
intangibles,
if
yeah.
they're gonna purchase insurance, they're gonna buy it from someone they know.
Yep.
And they trust.
Yeah.
So you got to get that people skill thing down
Pat.
pretty quick.
That's actually why I left the banking industry. I had been recruited to join the healthcare industry, so I actually have a health and benefits license as well that I've been able to maintain. But that's when I jumped into grit full time and
Wow.
said, "This isn't for me."
Yeah.
So
You found your niche
I
for sure.
found my niche. Yeah.
Hold that thought. We're
Yeah.
going to be right back after these messages to the Supper Club.
Kuna Food Service, providing quality food to people across the Midwest is part of our rich history at Kuna because food brings people together. We specialize in having a large variety of food products and food supplies, catering to an array of businesses that turn to us. Kuna Food Service, a family-owned tradition since 1918. Oliva on the Hill. It's Italy in the city. With exquisite old-world charm, this ideal setting is perfect for your next special event, wedding, just having lunch, or enjoying Wine Down Wednesday and the Antique Market. Check it out, olivaonthehill.com. Lordo's Diamonds, your family's jeweler for life. Family owned and operated for over 70 years, specializing in engagement rings, fashion jewelry, gemstones, and in-house jewelry repair. Relaxed, friendly atmosphere, competitive pricing, and a selection second to none. Conveniently located just west of the Galleria on Clayton Road. Lordo's Diamonds, your family's jeweler for life. LordosDiamonds.com. Joe Fresta for Fresta Limoncello. My handcrafted small batch citrus liqueur is perfect for sipping or pouring in a cocktail. All natural, gluten-free, Fresta Limoncello is sold at Schnucks, Dierberg's, Straub's, Total Wine, and local restaurants. Fresta Limoncello. Keep sipping, my friends.
Welcome back to the Supper Club. I'm Joe Fresta, brought to you by Kuna Food Service. We're here with Jennifer Bardot, the author of G.R.I.T, an anthology of books. There's three more, though, that are part of that whole repertoire that are all international bestsellers. And I want to ask you, as we get back into it, how do some of the testimonials come off the pages and into people's real lives? Have you ever heard back from readers of your books and say, hey, this particular story helped me here or there, or maybe start a business of my own? Do you ever get feedback like that from people who read?
I do, and it's super powerful. And I think
that's the
real
reward.
Impact, 100%. Because when you get someone that reaches out to you that you've never heard before and you never even met them in real life, and they reach out and share the impact that your story has made in their life. I mean, I had women say that they finally had the courage to leave a marriage or leave an employer and try to step into a different role. A lot of transition. Or they had the courage to start their own business.
Yeah, right.
You know? Or they didn't really ever recognize their hardships and how they were able to pivot and share their own story. But after every one of these stories, there's a QR code so you can actually connect with the individual authors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's a lot of that.
Cool.
And it's neat because not only have I had that reach out, but a lot of my authors have had that same experience
too. They could QR it to a certain person and then write them, ask them questions?
100%, yeah. It'll either take them to like their LinkedIn page or to their business page, and then they can reach out to them directly. It's really powerful.
Genius.
Yeah, 275 authors. So,
of all the attributes that you've written about or others have written about, what would you say is your best attribute?
Mine personally?
You
Ooh,
personally.
Man. I don't think I ever take myself too seriously.
Yeah.
And I would say that I'm never an expert of anything. There's always an opportunity for something to be gained or learned or improved upon. Like I never want to be an expert of anything. So kind of having that mindset of, how can I do better? Am I, changing lives? So I think I always have that maybe growth mindset. It's probably like I'll take on anything, It just sounds like fun, and then I'm going that way.
Yeah.
So.
And then how many actual stories, women's stories, are in your books total? Like how many?
Yeah, so I have 265 authors as of the 6th anthology, and then this last one featured another 27 authors, but there were a few men that were in this last book because it was
260 personal stories
65
of success,
and some of the authors
and
decided to
failures.
participate twice, 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Tell another story.
Yeah, so one of my uncle passed away 2 years ago, and one of his mentees, Jennifer Church, she decided to be in the entire G.R.I.T anthology: growth, resilience, intention, and tenacity. So she was in all 4.
All 4. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got the hat trick and then one.
Yeah,
right?
It was pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
But I've had a lot of authors that have decided to say, hey, I've got more than one story. I want to be in another one of your books. Or this word really resonates with me. I have a story to be told.
Oh, okay.
So,
gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, I could see where they would come up with that. Yeah.
Yep.
So what's the next book? What are you going to do next?
Well, I'm actually launching in all of the 7 books with the authors actually reading their story. So it'll be an audible collection of all 7 books, and that'll be coming out later this fall. But I'm always led by my gut, so it's always like, what's the story? What's the message?
Yeah.
So I haven't had that little epiphany just yet. I've been tossing around some ideas, but I haven't really nailed one down just yet.
Here's an interesting tidbit about you. You were diagnosed with dyslexia
Yes.
at the age of 9.
Yep.
But yet, which is a difficulty reading and writing.
Yeah.
But yet you've written 7 books.
That's why I do it. Yeah.
How does that work?
I'm ornery, and I like to push myself out of my comfort zone.
But isn't that, I mean...
Oh yeah, I'll
when
never
you
be a
think
great
about
reader.
that-
No, I actually I'm terrible at reading and writing, but I
Yeah.
choose to put myself in that uncomfortable zone to grow
Right.
because it was so uncomfortable and it brought me so much shame. So it's like
Right.
I need to figure this out. So then I don't have that shame around
So there's
reading
that
and
there's
writing.
that kind of that therapy piece
Totally.
to writing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In your case, because you had that condition, you were what, 9 when you
I was 9 and I was told I
Yeah.
was never going to graduate from high school. And my mom was like, no, you're going and you're going to go to college.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, what? I hate school. I suck at this,
Yeah, right,
you know?
right.
So I did a lot of private tutoring and she had my IQ tested and showed that I was gifted, but there was a huge deficit in regards to comprehension because I couldn't read, so I couldn't learn how to code the words, but I had this extensive vocabulary, you know, so they knew
Right.
something was up and they diagnosed it as a learning disability, but it wasn't until I think I was like 36 that I was tested again, and then I found out that I actually have dyslexia.
That's so interesting.
So,
yeah.
But I like those stories of naysayers because it's like they give you the courage to really
Right.
understand who you are and, you know, grow.
It's kind of like the guy who started JetBlue. Mm-hmm. He had ADD or ADHD really bad.
Yep.
But he found a way to use that
Yeah.
to his advantage and be successful,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy, you know, kind of like you.
Well, and like back in the day, those were gifts. Like that is a huge
Right.
blessing because you have a neurodivergent brain that thinks differently
Well,
than
you
the
can
average
juggle.
bear.
You can.
know?
I'm a little bit of that.
I have
little bit
that
of
too. I mean,
and I can
that's-
juggle
yeah.
a lot in my brain at one
Yeah.
time and multitask and all that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But
Because we're always coming up with ideas. And
I personally think, unlike you, I'm not a big numbers person. I mean, I was, you know, mathematics, you know, general mathematics, fine, but I think I'm kind of like numerically dyslexic. Like I have trouble. I get numbers turned around. And
I think that's
it's
possible.
just great.
Yeah, mine is like I'm thinking of
I don't
a
think
different
anybody's ever
word.
heard of that before, but
Oh,
that's how I
no.
characterize it.
Yeah,
So I really
think it's
have to,
called apraxia. I
I
think
have
there
to,
is something
oh,
like
really?
that. Yeah.
I have to really drill down when I'm looking at numbers
Yeah.
and writing out, you know, bill checks or add, you know, things of that nature.
Yep.
So anyway, we all have our weaknesses.
Quirks, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
but it's what makes you special because
That's
it's like
right.
I've learned to embrace that. It's like now I just make fun of myself, you know? Because I'll never forget this because one of my really close friends, she was actually in one of my anthologies, and she had posted something on LinkedIn, and she works for a pretty big financial agency here in St. Louis at the time.
Oh,
I think it
wow.
was Moneta or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
and,
Moneta Group.
I said something along the lines where I was like, I used a word that I used the word detrimental. And I thought that was a good thing until I quickly realized that it was actually like not what I was trying to imply, you know? So it's like now I just make fun of myself because I know I'm going to goof up and I'm not going to get it right. And that's just who I am. But I will try to make it right, you know?
Yeah.
So being honest
Yeah.
actually helps people, and it helps me, you know, have people reach out and be like, hey, Jen, you used the wrong word here, you know?
Right.
So instead of instrumental, I used the word detrimental, and that was the big goof up. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go back. You know, I just did an interview today prior to yours
Yeah.
with Mr. Don Ross, who was very much a pioneer of the enterprise rent-a-car story in the business. And, you know, his boss, Jack Taylor, who started it, he probably had a learning disability because he was a college dropout. He just couldn't.
Yeah.
He's just like, this isn't for me. But look what
cool?
what he ended up doing.
Yeah.
And then you circle back to what you're doing and the people you're talking to. A lot of women in high places at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. His daughter Chrissy is
Yes.
now running the company. Pam Nicholson was running it before her. And there are just a lot of women in high positions at that company. I think it says a lot about all of what you're doing. And
Absolutely.
do you have any? Do
and
you,
culture too. I mean, that's incredible.
Right, the culture. Do you do anything with Enterprise? Do you know these women at all, or
I know them
had
through
any interaction with them?
I knew them through Run for Women because that's one of the organizations that they obviously established, and I have an incredible partnership with Run for Women. I've hosted a couple of book events there, and the last lady that had published Living Well with Grit, Deborah Cox, she works for them as well. But I love what they do in this community, and I love the fact that they're so focused on bringing energy and jobs and so much great things to our community here locally.
Yep.
But I love hearing those stories, and as I started owning more about my disability, I realized Jim Carrey has it, Oprah Winfrey has it, Branson has it, and it's
really? Wow.
Yeah, and
Isn't
it's
that amazing?
It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just a new way of thinking. But the fact that he gives back to this community and he supports women is really cool.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, his son Andy took over the company at some point, and then Andy's sister Joanne, another big part of the organization, and then his daughter Chrissy took over and now is at the helm. Mm-hmm. And then her cousin, I believe, heads up the soccer team.
Oh yeah,
City.
That's right. And my dad was a part of that project, their family business. Yeah, it's really
doing
cool.
the building of the stadium. What a beautiful
And one
stadium.
of my girlfriends, actually in the Anthology, she provided the roofing. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so she took over for Jim Taylor Roofing over in Illinois. So yeah.
No relation with the Taylor?
No, her name's Julia
Taylor?
Yank, but she is the predecessor for her stepmother's company. So yeah, but I love seeing this, and that's the way it should be. We should be championing each other. So
yeah, I was doing it when I was doing my research on Enterprise, and I was reading about all the these women and what they're doing within that company. I thought of you, and I'm like, man, this would be a good plug and play for you, maybe.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe down the road, Maybe
I
you
love
guys
supporting organizations like that have a growth mindset to supporting women.
You guys could be like part of a speaker series or something. Maybe there's another book there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Anything's possible, right?
That's totally true.
Yeah.
Yep. I know. It's always just being led by your gut and telling, what are you feeling and where do you see the need? I would love to eventually write a book with my boys, but they're not into it. So it's there'll be a time and place.
Maybe not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Later on.
Yeah. I can't even get them to write the foreword.
Maybe later on you can go back and revisit that with them. I bet they might want to. And maybe your mom will do it.
Maybe after this she will.
Maybe after this. Yeah, this will be the.
It's about time, Mom. Tick-tock.
Final push in the right direction.
Well, she has so many lessons to be learned because she put herself through night class and she pretty much helped my grandma raise her brothers and sister.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Was she the oldest?
She was the oldest. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
She was a barrel racer. She was a barrel racer.
Oh my gosh.
So she's fierce. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the hobby that she used to do with my grandpa. So.
Yeah. And then when we were at break, we were chatting a little bit. You're about ready to start another project.
Yeah.
You're going to get into publishing.
Yep. So I own a publishing company now that I named after my boys, but that's specifically for the Anthology. So
right.
This will be a local magazine actually in Webster University or Webster Community, not University.
Yeah, right. Webster,
City.
Township.
Yeah, right next to Kirkwood.
Wow.
Yeah,
and so tell us a little bit about that. What's all going to go on there?
So I get to highlight local businesses and local leaders and thought leaders in the community, and they don't even have to be a part of Webster, but it goes to 4,000 different households and businesses, and we just get to highlight the Webster community, and they're doing so many cool things, and it's such a inclusive community where they have a lot of events for the community. They just had a community event just a couple weeks ago where they have live bands, jazz bands, and they go out, and it's just so fun. So I'm really excited to be a part of that community and highlight it.
Yeah, Webster's such a cool, vibe with Kirkwood too, their neighbor.
Yeah.
A great restaurant scene now. They've become a great restaurant destination. Kirkwood as well. Yeah. A walking community. It's just really
boutiques,
cool.
Walking, restaurants. I love that olive.
And I think there's another publication. It's called the Kirkwood Webster Times.
Yes, yeah.
They did an article on you.
They did. I was fortunate enough to be featured in there, which I was really excited about. So that was, I can't remember which book that was on. I think that was Living Well with Grit.
Okay.
But yeah. And I got to do Dancing with the Stars, and it's just neat. So
wait a minute.
I did too.
Huh? Huh?
I did Dancing with the Stars in January of this year. It was pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah, because
Now-
of one of the authors that was in Living Well with Grit. So that was the connection there.
Where did you do that at?
So that's the Ritz-Carlton. It was
Oh,
really
really?
cool. So we studied.
Is that a fundraiser?
It's a fundraiser for a local nonprofit called the Independent Living Facility. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So they help
Yeah.
folks with mental disabilities, mental illness, stuff like that. But it was incredible. There were 7 of us on stage, and I guess I practiced about 8 times with my partner. I danced to Meghan Trainor "Criminal," and it
Okay.
was super fun. So
Wow.
but it was a great
But
fundraiser.
you only practiced how many times?
8 times with a partner.
Do you have a dancing background at all?
I did. I danced when I was young, little, and then I
Okay.
did cheerleading. So I've always did dance, cheerleading,
You're
baton,
athletic.
modeling, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Did you play sports when you were young?
No sports. That was my sister.
Yeah.
Nope. I guess if you consider cheerleading, I was an NCAA cheerleader.
Well, that's
so
yeah. And
I was the
that's-
one they tossed in the
That's
basket
competitive.
toss.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, man. I remember one time I was at a SLU basketball game, and they did that.
Yeah.
And they tossed this girl up in the air, and the guy kind of dropped her, so landed on her head.
Ooh.
And I'm like, man, everybody's like, ooh. The whole crowd went, ooh, like that. And I'm like, big boy, you got to be like,
Catch
catch her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've fallen in
Yeah.
stunts and broke both my ankles. And
Doing that
oh yeah, stunts where literally they have you up
on a
as high-
basketball court?
We were actually at a competition,
Oh.
so we had to keep performing. They wrapped my ankles up and kept tossing me in stunts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean it's dangerous, but I've fallen a couple times in those stunts. But that was high school.
See, so it's athletic. It's
Yeah.
very, you
Oh,
got to
yeah.
be an athlete to
You
do
do.
that stuff.
I mean, I could take back in the day. You take one leg and you bring it up against your head, and it's
geez.
called a scorpion, and you're literally being held by your foot, and you have to trust everybody below.
that
so-
that hurts just thinking about it. You
so,
know what I mean? So,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just, I don't know. That's part of
Yeah.
life. You got to learn new things and
That's
constantly
right.
grow. And I mean, I
Fall.
can't imagine doing that now.
break your
So,
ankles.
Break
come
your
back.
ankles. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm going to read off. You know what? I'm going to go to my sheet here. I'm going to name
Okay,
a
cool.
bunch of things. I'm sure there's more, but I'm going to go start at the top. Name top business banker.
Yeah, I was.
Right.
Yeah. I made the cover of
You're
St.
the
Louis Small Business Monthly for the first time ever at Enterprise Bank. It was pretty cool.
Top 100 people to know in St. Louis.
Yep.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
That speaks to your networking abilities.
Yeah,
big
I
time.
love to help people, and I like to help people here in St. Louis.
Corporate partner for St. Louis Art Museum.
Yeah, I did do that. I love art.
I love the art museum.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
You know what? They've got the coolest gift shop ever. They've got the most unique. If you ever want to find a cool gift for somebody, you can't really think of anything.
Yeah.
Go to the art museum. Go
Yeah.
down the steps and to your right, and they have this.
It's beautiful.
the
And there's a little
coolest-
dining area.
Yeah. To the left, I
Yeah.
believe. But that gift shop. We're getting off stuff to the topic here, but it got the most unique things there. You know, really cool gift ideas, especially for people that have everything.
Absolutely.
You know that.
Yeah.
Like my parents are really hard to buy
Yeah.
for.
One of the
So-
best events that they host is actually Art in the Bloom. And it's such a cool experience because
Yeah.
it brings the visual component, and then they have the flowers that represent the art, and then they have a scent, a fragrance as well. And it's just a really cool event.
Is that inside?
Yeah, and
Is
the
that in that
muse-
main foyer?
Mhm, it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay,
Art
I
in
think
the Bloom.
I've seen
yeah.
that.
Oh, it's so cool.
They light up the walls and everything.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
wow.
So it's because
It's a beautiful building.
these florists get to really highlight their work, and then they represent the artwork. It's just really cool.
Okay, I'm not done. Not
Okay.
finished. Innovation mentor at St. Louis University.
Yeah, I did.
What does that entail?
So I volunteered quite a bit to help startups and people with an entrepreneurial mindset at SLU.
Yeah.
So I got to be on their pitch deck committee when they were trying to, find investors or help secure grants, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
Again,
I love
that
volunteering.
networking, helping out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not finished yet. 2 committees. You were on 2 committees for the General Contractors of Missouri.
Oh yeah, AGC.
Yeah.
Yep. So
How did you get in? Does this harken back to the masonry days?
yeah,
or-
this is construction roots. So my family's been in construction for 92
Yeah.
years. So I grew up in that space, and again, it's another space that is really about community and support. So when I was at Enterprise Bank and Trust, I was gifted this opportunity to serve on the board, and I jumped right in. And then because I don't know, I guess they liked me. I was offered another position. So I was on the service supplier committee and then on the recruiting committee. And I ended up really helping a lot of the GCs and the general contractors here in St. Louis during COVID because I was giving them information about PPP loans and how to secure this funding and just because, there was no days off work for these contractors.
Right.
A
lot of paperwork to fill out.
Right. Well, during COVID, a lot of people didn't have to go to work, and they're like, "No, they're essential workers. You got to be out in this. So, do you have the proper PPP and all that stuff?" So.
Now we're going to get at something totally different.
Yeah.
Okay. You describe yourself as an outdoor adrenaline adventurer.
Yeah.
What does that entail?
Anything outdoors. I love being outside.
You like jumping off bungee cords, or
yeah.
what do you do? Really?
I will jump off cliffs.
You jump out of an airplane?
Nope, I've never done
that. Would you?
I would have if I didn't have kids. I was like, I gotta be a mom.
Yeah, right.
But no, I love that kind of stuff. I love golfing. I love kayaking. I love hiking. I love
water. You ever do the whitewater rafting?
Again, it's like I gotta stay alive for these kids.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
You got it's to a limit.
Anything too
you can wear
dangerous,
a helmet.
Yeah. But I mean, anything with water and hiking and outdoors and just peace and beautiful views, sign me up.
But you're not with some of these people you see on the internet or on social media. Scaling you see those.
Well, I mean, I would climb up 3 stories and jump off a cliff into the water, stuff like that.
Oh,
or
really?
I've been in a NASCAR and that was incredible.
Wow, yeah.
And going G-forces, that's awesome. And
and I would do that.
Yeah,
I would
cool.
totally do that.
Yeah, you got to do that.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Now I'm a little iffy with the heights.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I will not jump. I would never do a bungee cord jump.
Yeah.
Okay, forget about it.
Yeah.
Or jump out of an airplane parachute. I would never do that either.
I would if I didn't have kids, but now it's like too much to lose.
I've even watched video of guys that get hired to change the light bulb at the top of the Empire State Building.
Oh.
And my palms literally start to sweat.
Yeah.
And I'm not even the guy up there.
That's
you know what I
crazy.
mean? It just freaks me out,
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah. And talk about construction industry. Like, people always underestimate all of the work that they do. They get on these scaffolding, and that's what they do. Like, they're 20 stories up, and it's incredible.
One of my favorite black and white photos ever, and you've probably seen it.
I can picture it in my head.
Are the guys that are the iron workers in New York?
Yes. Yeah.
Way up when they were building the skyscrapers, and they're just like dangling off the iron beams with their lunch boxes, eating their lunch, or just what? Oh my gosh!
It's like OSHA's worst nightmare.
I mean, what a
no harness, no
that
nothing.
would never,
No.
that wouldn't fly today.
Well,
no
back
way.
in the day, you could have 10 o'clock drink breaks too.
Yeah,
so.
right. Well, who's going to go up and watch?
I know, right? Seriously.
Do whatever you want.
Oh my gosh.
But
That's funny.
Well, in closing, is there anything else you want to say or convey to our audience?
Well, I'd love to invite you onto the radio show and be a guest on Elevate and Lead on 590.
That would be great.
Okay, great.
We're now.
Well, then our conversations continue.
It's funny. We're now colleagues on the same radio station, 590 AM.
Mm-hmm.
How about
Dave
that?
Green's amazing.
Yes,
Information
he is.
in the Lou. So.
Love him.
Yep.
Lou Information Station.
Yeah.
Okay, I would love to do that. And you
Great.
could be on mine.
Love that.
On Dinner
Okay,
Rush.
perfect.
We could talk about food.
Deal.
Everybody's favorite subject.
Love it.
Thanks for doing the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right.
The Supper Club brought to you by Kuna Food Service, a family-owned tradition since 1918. The Pasta House Company Restaurants. Lordo's Diamonds, your family jeweler for life.
Oliva on the Hill.
Barquette Realty, nationwide real estate investor.
And Fresta Limoncello. Keep sipping, my friends.